This week at NASA. After wishing the Expedition 27 crew farewell, Expedition 26 Commander Scott Kelly, Soyuz Commander Alexander Kaleri, and Russian flight engineer Oleg Skripochka undocked their Soyuz spacecraft from the International Space Station and turned toward home. Several hours later, the trio landed safely on the steppes of Kazakhstan. Kelly, Kaleri, and Skripochka completed almost 6 months in space, following their launch to the station in October 2010.
When the hatch opened, it's just quite refreshing to get that cold air and snow blowing inside the capsule. It was definitely a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
They'll be replaced on the complex by Commander Andrei Boroshenko and flight engineers Alexander Samakutiev and Ron Garan, who are scheduled to join Dmitry Kondratiev, Paolo Nespoli, and Katie Coleman on Expedition 27 after their Soyuz spacecraft launches next month from the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan.
Here, you're seeing right, they're shaking hands, they're celebrating, they're happy.
For the past 6.5 years, the Messenger spacecraft has been lapping the inner solar system. Now carrying a host of science instruments and fortified against the unrelenting heat of the sun, the spacecraft has arrived at its final destination, in orbit around the innermost planet, Mercury.
One of the mysteries, now a 20-year-old mystery, that we hope to solve with Messenger is the rise on Mercury, the planet closest to the sun, the planet with one of the hottest surface temperatures and the most extreme variation in temperature between day and night. Could ice be permanently deposited in cold storage at the North and South Pole? Stay tuned.
At the time of orbit insertion, Messenger for Mercury surface space environment, geochemistry, and ranging was 28 million miles from the sun and more than 96 million miles from Earth. Messenger has already completed 1 flyby of Earth, 2 of Venus, and 3 flybys of Mercury. Now, with each 12-day orbit of Mercury it completes, Messenger will continue returning the first new spacecraft data of the planet since the Mariner 10 mission more than 30 years ago.
We are unveiling this website, the Women of NASA, today. We are so proud of the contributions of all women.
NASA unveiled its new Women at NASA website, highlighting the contributions women are making to the agency.
My dad used to take me to the library every weekend, and I would check out a book on science and math.
The rollout was part of a Women's History Month celebration held at NASA headquarters in Washington. Hosted by NASA Deputy Administrator Lori Garver, the program included remarks from featured guests Valerie Jarrett, Senior Presidential Advisor and Chair of the White House Council on Women and Girls, astronaut Tracy Caldwell Dyson, and Sabrina Thompson, one of the women profiled on the new website.
The President called for the nation to have an effort to get 100,000 new teachers in science and technology and engineering and math. So you'll have plenty of people out there ready to teach and engaged and dedicated to this very important field.
Explore it! Do it!
A routine by the science cheerleaders entertained and educated the young all-girl audience of area school students. The performers, who are also scientists and engineers, challenge stereotypes and encourage young women to pursue careers in science, technology, engineering, and math.
A, and you're going to fold it and interlock it inside side B.
Audience members also took part in a demonstration of basic principles of flight.
I think this might be the first event you've ever been at where tweeting is encouraged.
Astronaut Doug Wheelock, a.k.a. Astro Wheels, hosted a tweet-up at NASA headquarters. This tweet-up, an informal meeting of the users of the social messaging medium Twitter, allowed space enthusiasts to meet and greet Wheelock and other NASA personnel.
You know, it's cool. I get to wear a blue suit. I get to fly in space. And so what they're looking at me, I know now that it's, they're looking at me saying, okay, the dream came true for you. How about for me? You know, is there something in this passion for discovery and exploration that I can live my dream as well?
In June 2010, Wheelock began a stay of almost 6 months aboard the International Space Station. assuming command of the complex and the Expedition 25 crew on September 22nd. While on orbit, Wheelock often took pictures of Earth and sent them back home via Twitter. Wheelock returned from space on Thanksgiving Day 2010.
And now, centerpieces.
A 6-week design and build challenge that had high school students across the world busy every day after school and on weekends is wrapping up. The NASA Knights, a FIRST Robotics team from New Horizons Regional Education Center in Hampton, Virginia, spent all of February building and programming a robot to participate in the 2011 Logo Motion competition. Logo Motion involves building a robot and minibot that can move and climb, as well as position inflatable tubes and symbols on pegs. The team worked up to the last minute, putting finishing touches on the robot's mechanical arm and running tests of the minibot before shipping. The team's hard work has paid off, and they are gearing up for 2 regional tournaments in March and April.
It's pretty intense. I've been here as late as 9, 10 o'clock working on stuff. A lot of us are here late. A lot of us come in every day, especially Saturdays. Saturday is usually an all-day thing.
For some of the NASA Knights, this will be their first robotic competition.
It's pretty exciting. I've never done anything like this before, so it's definitely something to look forward to.
I think it'll be fun just being there, and you can feel the energy even here. Like, people are excited about it. And I think there with all the other teams and everything, it's just gonna be really just a lot of excitement and stuff and emotions and things like that.
With the majority of the work behind them, the NASA Knights are ready to take on the other FIRST teams in robot battle.
Yeah, usually we do a pretty good job. Our robots are usually pretty solid, and this year we're kind of moving towards a little bit of versatility, but I think we still got a pretty good shot at it. This one's a little bit different from most year's competitions, but I think we got a good chance here.
And speaking of robots, NASA's Robonaut 2, or R2 for short, was a big hit at the Smithsonian National Air and Space Museum in Washington.
It's cool. It was exciting.
Inside the Moving Beyond gallery, the human-like robot, whose twin is now a member of the International Space Station crew, demonstrated its strength, human-like dexterity, and applicability in working safely and in close proximity to humans. R2 is just one example of technologies being developed by the agency to meet the challenges of extending the human presence into space.
Our goal is to, over time, show that it's capable of doing many tasks and then let it become a system that would operationally help the crew on a regular basis.
R2 also made an appearance for NASA Tech Day on the Hill. Members of Congress and their staffers watched R2 get put through his paces.
It is a hand.
While NASA leadership spoke of the importance of improving the nation's technological research and capabilities.
When I think about NASA's future in space and in aeronautics, or when I think about the future of this country, I can't help but realize that the pace of our technological innovations is only going to increase with time. It's a technological world, and for the U.S. to remain a technological leader, we have to make technology investments.
NASA celebrates 2 anniversaries this week. 46 years ago, on March 23, 1965, the first manned Gemini mission was launched from Cape Canaveral's Complex 19. Piloted by astronauts Virgil, Gus Grissom, and John Young, the 3-orbit Gemini 3 mission tested spacecraft and launch vehicle systems for future long-duration flights, how the capsule could be maneuvered in orbit, then controlled for re-entry and landing. The Gemini program helped set the stage for NASA's future moon landings. And 15 years ago, on March 22, 1996, Space Shuttle Atlantis launched from the Kennedy Space Center to begin STS-76. It was the first flight of the SpaceHab pressurized module to support shuttle mirror dockings and the third link-up between the U.S. spacecraft and the Russian space station. Atlantis also delivered veteran astronaut Shannon Lucid to Mir to be the first American woman to live on station and kick off a continuous U.S. presence in space for the next 2 years. The STS-76 crew was commanded by Kevin Chilton. Richard Searfoss was its pilot. Mission specialists were Linda Godwin, Michael Clifford, and Ronald Sega. Finally, NASA television has reached an internet milestone. Our YouTube channel now has more than 5 million views, with more than 19 million upload views. From everyone at NASA TV, thanks for watching. And that's This Week at NASA. For more on these and other stories, log on to www.nasa.gov.